Welcome to the Hilarity Ensues podcast, hosted by Donna, the queen of quick wit, and Jeff, the dean of devious double entendres. Together, they're on a mission to find the funny in life using nothing but their critical thinking skills and sarcasm.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hilarity Ensues. I'm your host, Donna, and joining me here today...
It's Jeff.
Yes, my co-host is back. He's
Thank
back.
you. I feel special.
Everybody missed you, Jeff.
Thank you very much. I missed y'all too.
Well, we're going to dive right in. Today's show actually is inspired by a Hulu series called Squatters. Get the out of my house. And for those of you listening, here's your warning. There will be spoilers. So if you have not watched it, pause right here, go watch it. It's 6 episodes. Each episode is 20 minutes. So it is definitely binge worthy. And then come back and listen to the rest of this pod, right? This show has enough insanity to make you question any decision you've ever made about owning a home or owning any kind of property.
This sounds intense.
This is very intense. It was very intense to watch. Here's the thing. Who knew that someone could move into your house, change your locks,
What?
claim ancestral rights, common law marriage, spiritual ownership, or simply just say, I've been here long enough, so I ain't going nowhere.
This got to be like an Impractical Jokers type joke.
You know what? Watching all 6 of those episodes, nothing was funny to me. Right?
Oh,
Nothing
man.
at all.
That's terrible.
Buying a house is really hard.
True.
One would never think that you'd have to defend your home like you were living in Baghdad.
Is that serious?
It is that serious. I think before we get in, there's a difference between, and it often gets confused, is trespassing and squatting.
Okay. But don't you have to trespass to squat?
Exactly.
Right. The trespassing is just one time you're in and out. You stay for a little while, you peace on out.
Yeah. Squatting involves a time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So I think 30 days is like the magic number where it becomes really hard to get somebody out after they've been there. But yeah, someone who trespasses, they come on your property, they take something and they bounce. If they take something, that's criminal trespass. Squatting is like, no, I'm going to go in and I'm going to set up camp and I'm going to live.
That's ballsy.
That is very ballsy. And once someone hits 30 days, it becomes very hard to get them out. And the unfortunate thing in watching this show is that the police can't help you.
That sucks.
You call the police and they're like, this is a civil matter.
If they're trespassing and they're staying for a certain amount of time, is that not criminal? I'm just saying. I know it's different for every state.
It is, and that's the thing. Every state has different laws. So I will say this, states that have high populations of homelessness, i.e. the state of California, their laws are very laxed because tenant laws up until recently didn't differentiate between an actual tenant and a squatter.
That's ridiculous.
So it's a very gray area that has to go through a court system for resolution. And we all know how backed up these court systems are.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm going to pose this at you here, being that you are a homeowner now. Imagine you come to visit me here in California.
Okay.
Or you go back to Illinois to visit your fam, and you come back home and the key for your front door doesn't work.
Ooh, that's going to be a problem. Yeah, that's gonna be a Fred Flintstone situation. Yelling for help.
And someone's saying, "No, this is my house. I have a lease. I belong here."
Oh, yeah. It might. Cooler heads will probably prevail, but I will think about turning it into a criminal situation. But I have to remember long term thinking.
Think long term, because here's the deal. Episode 1, again, spoilers. This took place in Queens, New York, right?
Okay.
This woman, she grew up, this was her family home, and her mother recently passed away. And she put the house up for sale. And she didn't live in Queens, she lived in Long Island. So once a month, she came into Queens to do her nails. And she drove by the family home and noticed the front door was a different color.
Okay.
It was a white front door. And the front door that she left it with was like a wood, burgundy wood, right?
Okay.
She went, she couldn't get in. She called the police, and the police rang the bell. Some guy came out and said he had a lease and this was his house.
Nope.
She had court paperwork in her pocketbook
Mm-hmm.
showing that she was the owner and the executor to that estate. Police couldn't do nothing about it. She came back a second time and she got in the house, and the guy came back and she got in the house. She changed the lock. She called the locksmith to change the locks.
Okay.
The guy came back, pushed in, and called the police, and they arrested her.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. It's time to start swinging. Wait, just out of curiosity, how did she get in the house? Did she use that technique that I used a couple episodes back?
No, what it was, no, she didn't. Actually, she didn't break in. It looked like there was another person that was renting. She had a news crew with her. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the person came out, and they were overwhelmed by the news crew. And they went in, and then they came back out, and they didn't lock the door.
Okay.
So she walked in. She didn't kick in any doors. So this was all filmed. End result, they did end up dropping the charges against her because she went to court. And long story short, the state of New York has revised their tenant laws to differentiate between squatters. But this went on for months. Now, here's who I'm going to blame here.
Mm-hmm.
The realtor. Why the F you had my house sitting so long?
Right. Yeah.
Because the house, when she put it on the market, was turnkey. Her mother always decorated. It was very ornate in nature and stuff like that. Even if you can't sell it as a realtor, I consider you the person I'm entrusting with a set of keys to keep an eye on my property to make sure that there's traffic going in and out. And I'm going to get to the whole realtor situation anyway. Yeah, the house was vacant. Someone came in, and here's the deal. By the time she got him out, she had to sell that house as a fixer-upper. They had completely jacked it up.
I've heard about that. That question, though, on the lease. Did the guy literally have a lease? Did somebody else come in and say, this is my house, and this is, you can lease it out for this much?
He had a lease, but that don't mean shit. You could buy a lease at Office Depot, or what's the website online where you can get all kind of legal Zoom or something like that.
Yeah, that's wild.
So,
wow.
But yeah, next episode, here we go. Malibu, California, right?
Oh, fancy town.
Very fancy. So these are not only hood issues, people. It happens in nice areas too. This guy, he had a house. It was 3 bedrooms. He had a roommate, and they had a 3rd bedroom, and they were like, let's rent it out. Meets this woman. She's into crystals and Buddhism. She's very soft-spoken.
Mm-hmm.
She's that person. She's an actress, and being that they were all actors too, they were like, okay, we'll get along. Here's the big mistake that they made. Big mistake.
Can I guess?
What?
They didn't look up her IMDb?
They might have done that because
Okay.
I actually looked her up. She's on Facebook. I found her on Facebook. She got credits.
Okay.
But what the big mistake that they made is the security deposit. They let her move in before getting that money in hand.
Oh,
she was
big
like, oh, my uncle in London, because she spoke with a little British accent. So you know how Americans are always drawn by the accent. So she spoke with a little British accent, and she said, oh, my uncle, he's going to send over the money and blah, blah, blah. When after she moved in, they were like, where's the rent? And she's like, my uncle, he's traveling, and when he gets back. And she was kind of like very matter of fact about it. Like, you get it when you get it. Why are you acting like a peasant? Here's the other red flag. People that got their stuff together, they don't need to rent rooms. They rent mansions.
Right. Yes. That should have been the first red flag right there.
She didn't give you the money. So, okay, we're going to go ahead, and she's there now 2 weeks. They keep asking her. On day 31, that woman became like Sybil.
Ooh.
And she went from that soft-spoken tone to, I ain't going nowhere.
She's a pretty good actress then.
By episode 2, here's what I realized. We talked about this before, consequences. We talk about this all the time. People aren't afraid to die.
No.
They are not afraid to die. I won't tell you the thought on air that went through my head of the many ways I would have gotten out of that house.
Yes. He gonna be carried out.
My mind went into the darkest crevices of the ocean.
Yes.
And finally, they were able to finagle a plan with the police because they ended up getting some kind of, she went and she got a restraining order against.
Are you serious?
Because he went on her Facebook page. He has like close to 5,000 friends on Facebook. And he started direct messaging each one of them that she owed them money and she was this. And there were people that responded back to him and said, she did that to me too.
Oh, damn. That's despicable. Yeah, that's out of control. But they're friends on Facebook. That's the crazy part about it. Why would you remain friends?
I don't know. Finally, the police was like, hey, we can't force her out the house, but if she steps outside the house, there's some kind of law. Once she's volunteering to leave. So he said to her, somehow she was at the door and he was like, can I come in? And she said, yeah. And he was like, yeah, I understand. And he smoothed her and he's like, wait, I want to ask you a private question. Can you step out here for a second? And the moment she stepped out, boom.
Oh,
she was out.
Nice.
So that's Malibu, right? The next one was in Colorado. And this woman had a severe illness. I think she had cancer. And she was, I guess, messaging someone on a dating app. And she ended up in the hospital and she died. My man showed up at the house and told the family that he's been living there for 3 years in their common law. They want to relationship.
Hell no, that's dirty. That's dirty.
Again, he jacked up the house. Every possession that her daughter had in that house and the mother had, I think he might have been on drugs because they found drug paraphernalia in the house. Mm-hmm. He sold it. All of it was gone.
Damn.
Jewelry, clothing, memorabilia, all gone. And here's the gangster thing about this. They got him out. And I don't quite remember how they got him out, but he was arrested later on for some kind of sexual assault charge.
Oh, damn.
And just when you thought he was out of your hair, he was like herpes. He showed up.
Oof.
They got a notice that he sued them and the family owed him $400,000. He sued them from jail.
He's got some stones on him. Yeah.
He sued them from jail. And here's what's
funny. Do that. I just thought about that.
Let me tell you something. Our prison systems, prisoners have access to libraries and computer systems.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people, not a lot, but I know quite a few people that went to prison and got educated, like formally educated. They used that time and they got degrees.
Smart.
One guy, he's CEO of a company now. I ain't going to call him out by name because that's his story to tell. But he went to federal prison. It was a white collar crime. And he got his law degree
nice.
While he was in jail.
That's impressive.
Okay. Taxpayers' dollars at work. But anyway, meanwhile, my daughter's trying to go to law school. We got to put all this kind of money. That's a different subject for a different day.
Yeah, we could do it cheaper.
That triggered something in me when I just said that out loud.
Yes.
But what he did was, because anytime you sue someone, you have to serve them to appear in court. He put the name of another convict as the person that served her papers. So you serve someone papers, they have, I want to say 10 days or 30 days to respond back. And when they don't, you can get a default judgment. When she received that thing in the mail that said she owed him $400,000 and he's in prison, she called the courts and they did a little forensic review of the court documents and saw that the person that was the process server is someone that was incarcerated at that time.
Good luck.
That was thrown out. But let me tell you, while I was watching this, he was all nervous. I'm like, yo, he is in jail. But 12-pack of ramen and a case of Newports, he could get shanked in the shower.
For sure.
I'm like, but thankfully, it didn't have to come to that. Again, I told you my mind kind of went into the deepest crevices of the ocean. Yeah. Next, we're back in California, Sherman Oaks, California.
Okay. That's a nice area too, right?
Nice area. This guy, he lived in a house. He was older. He lived there with his parents. Both his parents died. He was living in the house. And this was during COVID. And the neighbors noticed that they hadn't seen him. One day, each neighbor got a notice that the guy that was living in the house, he's in Carpinteria, which is further north in California. And she's the trustee of the estate and she's going to be doing some renovations and stuff like that. And the neighbors were like, this man had never left the house and the many years he's lived there. Now he's going on like retreats.
Yeah, something don't smell right.
They called the police and the police shows up and they're like, can we go inside the house? She's like, yeah, you can. She's like, I would just recommend wearing a respirator because there is, we're doing some remediation and, there's stuff in the air and I don't want anyone to get sick. We're responsible. So the officers put on the respirators. Let me tell you, pause right here. That was a gangster move by her.
Yeah.
Because that covered up the smell in the house.
Uh-oh. What smell would that be?
The man was dead in the house.
He died of natural causes, or did she kill him?
She said he died of natural causes, but here's why they can't prove that, because the moment the police came to inspect the house, she dropped his body in a tub of lye
Whoa.
and then took his teeth and grinded them up and went and threw the remains. She took a road trip up to San Francisco and dropped them in the ocean.
She did this all by herself?
All by herself.
Motivated by greed. Yes, I'm going to lean on probably she has something to do with his death. You don't grind up teeth if somebody just died naturally.
Yeah. That takes a lot of thought, right? You've done this before, is my guess.
Damn, that's diabolical.
We're moving on because I'm sitting here. I'm like, California hit this twice, Colorado, New York. What happened to Florida? I spoke too soon because Jacksonville, Florida.
Florida had to get involved some kind of way.
Florida always has to be in the mix. Florida will never feel left out. Well, Florida, Jacksonville, 2 women, they had a house. They actually sold the house. There was an offer and there were some things during the closing that was brought up. So they sent a handyman over to the house to fix it. And the handyman called him and said, yo, there are pit bulls on the screen porch. I can't go in.
No. They don't pay him for that. I'm not a chew toy. I'm a handyman.
So the women show up and this chick comes out and she's rough. She's Florida rough. And she's like, I just moved in yesterday. I gave a deposit and, I gave $3,080 deposit for this and I ain't going nowhere because I put my money down. The cop peeped game. The cop was like, he was a brother too. He's like, let me investigate this. And he was like, he ran her name. And apparently she had a record of fraud before, a housing fraud, right? So he's like, she's trying to get money out of you. And so the moment the cop tried to push against her, she got really irate. And she's like, because he said, we're going to do an investigation. And she just lost it and started going off on the cop.
Huge red flag. Yeah.
Huge red flag. Because if you're innocent, you're not going to be on the defense like that. Cop told the woman, unfortunately, this is a civil matter. We have to investigate this. We can't move her out the house. So these 2 older women, I'm going to set some things in perspective here. These were 2 older Caucasian women. Retirement age, because they said this house was part of their retirement. The 2 women living in the house were 2 Black women.
Race enters the chat.
And we're not talking Michelle Obama Black women.
The other kind. Different kind.
The other kind. The kind that I look at as, and regardless of race, there comes a demographic of people that have nothing to lose and they ain't afraid to die.
Okay.
Because they ain't got nothing to lose.
Right.
And these older women, I got to give them the OG award because they showed up every day with their phones out just to annoy them. And then these women start getting up in their face and coming out with crowbars. I'm like, yo, ladies, get back in your Subaru and let's call it a day.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening is that it did go to court. First of all, the offer they had on the table, they lost because the buyers were like, we don't want to deal with that. They end up going to court and the court gave the tenants 24 hours to vacate the premises.
Okay.
And these women they got a call from the neighbors that night. And the neighbors were like, there's all these cars on the streets and there's all these people in your house. And we hear noise in the house. And it sounds like they're tearing up the house. She called the police. The police was like, they're given until tomorrow. We can't go in.
Damn it, man.
When they got in the house the next day, mind you, they had realtor photos. Everything was pristine. There wasn't a room that had privacy. They had busted every single sheet of plywood in that house.
Damn.
Down to the studs.
I don't understand that. But yeah, I hear that story so many times. It's so, Even though I'm not involved, it just angers me.
I know.
Yeah.
Because it's wrong. It is so wrong. They had diapers with feces in it and human feces and broken eggs and maggots in there. They pulled out the washing machine, all the appliances, gutted the house. These people took a loss on this house and had to sell it as a fixer-upper.
Yeah.
I was pissed. I was angry. And here's what really got me angry. They went back to court over that. And the girl was like, I don't know what happened. I didn't do that. She went from hood to now I'm trying to speak prop. I don't know what happened.
Oof.
And the court awarded restitution for the homeowners of, I want to say it was like $3,900, which pissed me.
39. Oh.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say 39,000 or something, which I think would probably be too low to begin with.
Because their damages was estimated at $44,000.
Okay.
So you have people, again, that have nothing to lose. So do you think they're ever going to see that money?
No. 39, no. Yeah.
They're not going to see that money. So that was Jacksonville, Florida. Then last episode was New Jersey. Jersey. Woman, she grew up in foster care. She wanted a house, a home. She found her dream home. It was a fixer-upper, but she wanted to do the work herself. So she wasn't living in it. She received some document in the mail that she ignored, which when you receive stuff in the mail, don't ignore it. Someone with, I want to say, claiming Moroccan ancestry, and it was a signature with fingerprint and blood and all kinds of stuff saying that if she does not respond back, he's going to take ownership. And she ignored it because she just bought the house. And she came one day and saw the shavings of the lock on the floor.
Wow.
And then she went to her neighbors, and her neighbors was like, oh yeah, your husband, he was out there and he was doing stuff. And she's like, I'm not married. They were like, your boyfriend? She's like, no, I don't have a boyfriend. He went and introduced himself to the neighbors and said, hello, I'm your new neighbor.
Oh, wow. Social engineering.
So here's the thing. When she called the police, only her situation was a little different than everybody else's because what he was a part of was linked to a terrorist organization.
Oh, okay. That's serious.
So they were like, we need to call the FBI.
Okay.
We need to call the FBI.
Right. And you want things done right, you got to call the FBI.
And because he had like this red flag. It had like a yellow star hanging in the window. So SWAT shows up, surrounds the house, and calls for him to surrender.
Okay.
And she's in the neighbor's house next door filming this and streaming it on TikTok.
And you might as well monetize it, right?
Because she said she was getting like tens of thousands of followers. Because you know what? Everyone wants to watch a car wreck. That's the whole thing.
Yep.
Finally, they asked her, can we use the battering ram on the door? She was like, absolutely, yes, you can. Get that man out.
Let me help you.
So they went in, and my guy dead weighted it. He was cuffed, and he wouldn't walk out. He was like a stiff plank. It was like 6 officers that had to carry him out the house.
Wow.
He's in jail for 2 days. He bonds out. He's supposed to appear in court, disappears.
Bounces.
They find out he went to China.
Mm.
My girl is still living in the house. This is where I'm a little rough around the edges, but I don't like to live in a state of hypervigilance. I grew up in New York. It's not settling. My girl still lives in the house.
Yeah.
I have weapons throughout the house, things that you might not think, and kudos to you for thinking about that. But I couldn't rest easy knowing that he could show up at any time.
Right. Okay. But she'll be ready for him.
She'll be ready. And I guess it'll be a last man or woman standing kind of thing. This was a lot. It was a lot. I mean, Jay, have you had any experience? Well, in your house, nobody's ever showed up there.
No, but I do have my aunt, also my godmother, her, I guess, ex-boyfriend. It's kind of old to have a boyfriend. But anyway, her man, whatever you call it.
Stop age shaming the woman.
Okay. All right. So her ex-boyfriend used to live with her for a while, and he had a home, which is right down the street, but he mainly stayed at her place. And this is for years. I mean, he'd been there for, I don't know, a decade or something like that. But he would check back on his house every now and again. And then one particular time he checked back and he ran into that same situation where the lock was different. He's like, I'm pretty sure this is the right key. So he's jiggling it around. He's like, I can't get in there. But he saw a light on. He heard something, but nobody came to the door. So he's like, what's going on? So he turned around, he left, he came back at a different time during the day, and he saw, I almost said the M word, a little person. He saw a little person walking around in the front, and he's like, "Hey!" And the dude ran back and closed the door on him. And so then he got the police involved, and they again couldn't do anything. Now this is in Illinois, and they just changed the law to make it more potent in terms of the laws in 2026 January. But this is back in like 22, 23-ish, somewhere there. So the laws are super soft. So he had all the right to do doing like construction projects, like he was improving the house. It was crazy. And he had other people moved in with him. It was absolutely insane. And he had no rights. He had nothing. They were like, we can't do anything. He was so pissed. I mean, on the level of 1 to 10, definitely a 10. And it took about 6, 7, 8 months, something like that. And finally had to basically pay him to leave, basically, is what happened.
That's the hustle. That is the hustle.
Yeah, he paid. I don't know what the amount was, but he paid him a good amount. And then he left. And of course, he changed the locks and everything. Started going home more often. And now that he's my aunt's ex, he's there all the time. I don't have to worry about that anymore. But yeah, it was a crazy. She was telling me the story, and I was like, "This is not real life. Like, this is crazy dealing with that. Like, how are you going to just do home improvement on somebody else's home? And just my home wasn't good enough for you?"
At least he left the house better.
Exactly. It's kind of like home shaming, but I guess in the end, he kind of paid for the upgrades when you look at it that way.
Yeah. So, well, it could have been worse.
Oh yeah, could have been way worse.
You know, my parents, they were landlords when they first came to this country, and a house that they had, it was a 3-family house, and they had a tenant that lived on the lower level, and they tried to evict because the person wasn't paying rent. Person eventually left because, my father, Jamaican man, your laws, he's like, he ain't abiding by that. He's like, I paid for this house. And I'm going to tell you this, my father, rest in peace, he had crafted the ability to be a thorn in someone's side.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a little of that rubbed on me, but he just made their life miserable. So eventually they decided to move out. What did they move out and do? The refrigerator crisper jars that are in the bottom of the fridge, where you put your produce.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They urinated and defecated in it.
Oh, what the? Oh, wow. That's nasty.
And they threw cement in the toilet.
I heard about that too. Cement in the toilet. That's like an oldest, I guess, squatter trick, I guess.
So my father was like, I'm never renting out to anyone ever again. Fast forward, it was like the 3rd house that they owned together. My father at this point, he had moved out at this point. So my mother rented out the basement. New York basement apartments are a thing. There are legal basement dwellings and there are illegal basement dwellings. We didn't have a legal basement dwelling.
Okay.
And so we rented out to this young lady, excellent tenant. She was lovely. She was kind of like family. We'd invite her up for dinner and stuff like that. This is how cool we were. We had a dividing door because they would come through the side door and go downstairs to their apartment, or they could come upstairs to our house. And that door that came into our house, we'd leave it open and unlocked because we liked her that much.
Okay, nice.
He moved out for a bigger place. My mother rented to this woman that had a young child. My mother's sympathetic, single mother. She had a young child. She was like, okay. Now we rented this furnished. So it had a bedroom, the bed, and a small dresser. It had like a small kitchenette table with 4 chairs, refrigerator.
Mm-hmm. No urine or feces?
No, that wasn't. But she became a squatter. She was in real estate, quote unquote. But eventually she stopped paying rent. And she would come in and out. And my mother would ask her. And finally she got snippy. She was like, take me to court. This is not a legal basement apartment. I was in college at that time. And my mother told me, I came home around a break holiday time. Actually, no, it was the end of semester, spring. So I came home and I called Ronald, my brother, Ronald.
Mm-hmm. I know Ronald. Yeah.
We called Ronald and I was like, I need your help to move some furniture, right? And he brought in his best friend. I won't give his government name, but we call him Flacco, right?
Okay. I heard about Flacco. I never met him, but yeah.
With a name like Flacco, he's with the shit. So anyway,
yes.
They come over and I call the police non-emergency line. And I'm like, hey, I need an officer here for entrance.
Mm-hmm.
Officer shows up. I'm like, listen, I was away at college. My mother rented out the space. I just need to get my stuff out of there.
Okay. Yeah.
And the officer, he kind of looked at me, but I think he understood what the problem was.
Right. You read between the He caught it too.
He caught it and he rode with it. And, Flacco, because he's with the shits, he sees, the police and he's kind of a little uneasy. But he knocks on the door and he's like, she wants to get her stuff. She was protesting it. And the officer was like, what do you need to get? And I listed out. I was like, I need to get the bed. I need to get the dresser. I need to get my table. I need to get chairs.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, is any of that yours? And she was like, no.
Mm-hmm.
And because we didn't do a formal lease with her either, there was nothing on paper that said, oh, we rented this to you furnished.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he opened up the door and Flacco and Ronald carried out that dresser, carried out that bed, left the entire place empty.
Empty, yeah.
And
Kept
there's
it
no
closed.
carpeting. There's no carpeting. And she left, I want to say 2 days later.
I'm surprised she made the 2 days.
Because what happened is the next day she left and I went in and she threw all of her clothes that were hanging up on hangers in the closet. She threw it on the floor in the closet and that's where they were sleeping.
Wow.
And Ronald and Flacco were like, yo, you're gangster.
Yeah.
Because I was like, because here it is. As a landlord, you can't shut off the water. You can't turn off their utilities. You can't suspend any kind of services because that could put you in jail.
Right. Do it the legal way.
You do it the legal way. That's my stuff. It's not your stuff. It's my stuff. I want my stuff back. And here's what I pointed out to Ronald when I had this conversation. I'm like, my mother couldn't have gone in and said that. My mother couldn't have gone in and said, that's my furniture. I want it back. Because she was the landlord.
Right.
But I could go in and say, that's my stuff.
Right.
And I want it back.
You played the game within the rules.
Play the game within the rules. I'm looking at time and this is an extended episode. We're going to end it right now. I think I'm going to come back and I'm going to kind of go over some of the things that went wrong with landlords and homeowners during this process and some things that everyone needs to consider. So set your notifications for those things. And Jeff, please, because I was butchering this the last couple of weeks while you're gone. Please share with our listeners how they could support our channel.
Oh, thank you. Yes, please like, share, and subscribe. Share the show with everyone that you know. Please give us a thumbs up, of course, if you can. If you're listening to the show, listen all the way to the very end so we get credit. If you want to email us a suggestion or just a compliment or other, you can email us at hilarityandsuespod@gmail.com.
And there you have it, folks. We may not have all the answers, but we'll definitely make you think. Thank you for tuning in and goodbye for now.
All right, take care.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Hilarity Ensues. Our fantastic music soundtrack is brought to you by TL Music Productions exclusively for Hilarity Ensues. Be sure to connect with us on social media by following Hilarity Ensues Podcast.